text. Oh my god, book crayon.
There was like a 2-inch gap between your pinky toe and your other toe. Holy shit.
Okay, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we have special guests, which have never been on my channel like this, like a sit down video. We were all talking about it. I mean, I feel like you know who these people are. I feel like I don't need to introduce, but in case I do, we've got Kara, Carrie, and Julia.
Yay!
Woo! So this has been highly requested for a while now. A lot of you guys wanted to see kind of like a Q&A, or just us kind of talking about how we met, advice, friendship things. I don't know, I feel like you guys have been seeing a lot of friend things on my channel lately since all of the wedding content, and I've just been vlogging a little bit more, so I've been getting more and more questions about it. So it's gonna be fun. We've got mimosas, very fitting. So yeah, we're gonna start answering your questions now.
We're gonna dig deep.
Okay, so the first one I think that we're gonna answer, just because it's probably the most commonly asked, and that's how we met. So I feel like I'm gonna let Carrie.
This is gonna date back here. Let's go in order of how it happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kara and I grew up together. We were from the same hometown. We went to high school together. We met summer before freshman year.
Yes, so we were what, 14, 15?
Yeah.
We're
So
26 now, so
12 years. So yeah, we've been best friends forever, and I always wanted to move to New York, so I did. And I met Julia in college at FIT, and we ended up actually rooming together one semester. I actually met Tess on the internet. Through like Twitter. I used to watch her videos like on and on. Also YouTube was so different, and like Instagram wasn't even around, and it just like,
Yeah.
But we talk about it all the time.
Half the size.
What do you mean?
Like,
She's so fast now.
Yeah, you mean like how big
Bro,
your channel is?
yes.
Yeah, okay. So around the time I was in college still, I think my third year, I was a junior, and yeah, she reached out, and I think we like had a common interest of like One Direction and like, boy bands and stuff like that.
She found out I lived in like Chicago. She grew up in Wisconsin, so
at the time I was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know why we were talking, maybe there was like a concert there or something.
I literally tweeted that I was going to One Direction concert in Chicago, and you're like, oh, you're from there, and it just kind of like organically happened.
We had met in Chicago, and then we like kept in touch just like over social media.
Yeah.
And I would come up to New York a lot for just different like brand trips and stuff, and she was obviously going to school here, so we would just like meet up and like get dinner or drinks or whatever. And that's also how I met Julia, because when I would come to New York, she obviously was her roommate, and then we would just like all slowly hang out. And then Kara also.
I knew you just because of Carrie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There was, I mean, we were friends for sure, but like a bona fide friendship didn't happen until we were all physically here together.
And it kind of ties into this question, which I thought was, I only am really including it because we actually have a photo of the first time all four of us ever hung out. I'll insert it here. We were there for Carrie's 22nd birthday. I flew in and surprised her, and Kara came in, her sister came, and that was like the first time all four of us hung out, and we have pictures of it, which I think is just really cute.
What do we do?
Oh yeah, we can talk about jobs. I mean, you guys know what I do, so I'm gonna let them take it away.
I work for Macy's. I'm in the buying office in like the home department. Yep.
Cute.
I work at a membership like community place called Hey Mama. I'm the membership manager there.
And I am a private chef.
Woo! A very like small version of what she just done. Yeah, we're not gonna get into details, or this video will be super long.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the questions were if we've ever fought or got into fights.
Biggest fight.
And I feel like we've never collectively, like as a group, gotten into a fight with each other, but like individually, people will have like tiffs with each other, but nothing crazy. Like we haven't had anything.
These two.
Yeah,
I
these
fight
two
all the
fight
time.
sisters.
Like
We live together.
we live together. It adds a layer.
We've been living together for too many years.
How many years now?
4. Yeah.
That's a long
More
time
than
to live with
that.
somebody.
Think about it. Your 22nd birthday? Oh, 5. No. I don't know. How long has it been?
A long
Like 5
time.
years.
Most likely to fight would be Carrie and Julia, just because they live together, and
Then
they just
after
also
we bicker.
like
We bicker a lot.
And then
Like,
after it's you and me.
then it's me and Kara. I'm a problem.
she's the link and also the most like.
You're just sensitive.
I am. Why would you say that to me?
specifically Kara and I will talk about, well, exes, and then I'll talk about Patrick. You guys obviously know, love him. But I always get these comments, and I got a question about it, and it was, I'm gonna read it word for word. It said, do you ever get a little jealous of how close Pat is with all of the girls? And this is something I feel like I've always wanted to talk on a video because I've answered it in Instagram comments too, but I feel like Julia's never really gotten the comments, but Kara and Carrie get them a lot, and it's like kind of insinuating that they're too flirty or too close to Patrick, which I just think is so absurd. And I got another one that was, if your friends didn't like your husband, what would you do? I would not have a husband. So I think,
He's sitting right there.
yeah. So, okay, this annoys me for a few reasons because I feel like, and I don't want to come off rude, but I feel like you have the wrong friends if you are worried about your friends flirting with your significant other or your husband. And if that's ever happened to you, I am so sorry. Like, that's so shitty. I've heard horror stories of that happening to people, but I think you just have to surround yourself with people that you really trust. Like, I trust my husband and I trust my best friends, and I think it would be miserable if my friends didn't have a relationship with him. Obviously, friend relationship. I just think that them posting photos or hanging out with them should not insinuate anything other than that they're friends with him. Just because he's a dude doesn't mean that they automatically like him. Like, I'll post photos with Louis or Josh, and it's not like I'm trying to get with them. So Pat is also just like a very friendly guy. Like, he always wants to be around us too. Well, not always, but we're kind of a unit. We're like a family here. So if you are ever feeling like you can't have a boyfriend that talks to your friends, get new friends or get a new boyfriend, because having people,
because something's not right there.
Yeah, something's not right. It's so much happier. I promise you, you'll have such a better and more successful relationship with not only your friends, but with your significant other, if you really truly like trust them and trust everyone around, and like take that as something like a checklist of something in your relationship.
Amen.
Totally. For me specifically, and sort of for you, I became just as good of friends with Pat really at the same time I did with Tess.
I mean,
it wasn't like Tess was like a lifelong friend and then all of a sudden I got really close to her boyfriend. Like, I really got to know them as people and friends at the same time. So I got to know Pat as my own friend, separate from Tess being my friend as well. Does that make sense?
But that's also kind of the way Pat's personality is. He's like, he wants to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And to establish these like personal relationships and not just be like the husband or like the boyfriend that's around.
Yes.
Like, he is a solid piece to the friend group, and you can't have a solid piece of the friend group that not everyone is being like, you know, involved in.
I mean, obviously you love who you love, and sometimes there's moments where, you know, maybe your friends don't get along, or your husband might not always like your friends, but, you know, I don't know, I guess I never lasted with somebody long enough for that to be a thing.
Yeah.
But that was always something I valued when looking for a partner, I guess. I wanted him to like my friends and my family.
You always knew how important your friends were.
Yeah, and so just something to maybe consider if
Yeah.
you are looking for the same thing. But I think that's a good, you know, segue into another kind of boy comment we get a lot, and that's with Kara and Josh.
Oh boy, I get this question. Well,
I get this
actually,
question.
we all get this question,
Yeah.
like on the low.
Like,
you
people
tell me.
ask us.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess, and I
The
see it
question
in comments
is,
like,
Are Josh and Kara still together?
And we're still together, or did we date, or I ship Kara and Josh? And I could answer these questions every single time I see them, but that would mean I'm just like always answering them. So it's just better to answer it in one big foul swoop. Yes, we dated. We dated for 4 years back in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we met. Then we moved to New York together, and we broke up about 4 months after moving to New York. So over 2 years ago now, we've been totally broken up.
Yeah. And also, sorry to interrupt, don't ask her why. Like, just, if they just broke up, she doesn't need to talk about it. She didn't have a public relationship.
But the most important part of that is, and like, all you need to know is that there's no bad blood.
We're all still friends.
Like, literally are like,
We're all best friends.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
And that's the second most question I get is, how do you do it? And like, people want advice on like, how do you stay friends with an ex, or how do you keep your friend group so intact? And my easy answer for that was, when we broke up, I visited New York and I fell in love with it, and at the time I was dating Josh, so I wanted him so badly to move with me here. And so when he did, and then we broke up so shortly after that, I felt awful because I knew these people and I was introducing him to my friends at the time. Now we're all each other's friends, but I very, very much forced and like persuaded all of you to just keep hanging out with Josh. Like I never wanted him to feel alone. I wanted him to like feel like he had a place here and like feel like he had friends and not like regret this massive move across the country. And that was so important to me. He's also the best guy, like his sweetest heart, great guy. So it's easy to be around him. Yeah. So that's the way there.
It's also
yes, single ladies, go for it.
Okay, a lot of you guys, obviously, you know I'm married and not really in the dating game, but you guys
not
are
really.
Not really.
Not really.
Hi, reality of living in New York.
We had to close it for sound issues.
Sound issues.
My cat's kind of hurry. I think I'm
Closing the cat spot.
These girls can chat about
dating in New York.
This girl can talk about dating in New York.
Julia dates.
Julia dates.
A little bit.
A little bit. I don't know.
Dating in New York is everything I thought it wouldn't be.
So true. That is like the perfect way to put
You
it.
think that it's gonna be
I
easy
thought it was
and
gonna
you can
be-
meet people anywhere and it's like this like, oh my god, there's a plethora of like options.
That's not how it works. When I was back home in Chicago, I would be like, these girls, how are they having like a trouble like meeting guys? And then you
Talking about us?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I get here, I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why. And I was saying, unless you're the most social butterfly, you're not saying hi to like guys that you meet on the train or the subway or like on the street corner. So you're either forced to meet people through friends, which happens, but not every other weekend, or you're on dating apps. And I think we all are. We all are.
Yeah.
Excluding Tess, obviously, but it's. I mean, it's very difficult here. I have a lot of failures, a lot of funny ones.
I think the issue too is because there's like so many people here. It's like it's hard to like. It's just. Everybody's like always so focused on like themselves and like everybody's so busy all the time and moving so fast.
Takes the back seat.
There's so many options. Like there's like the pool is huge, so it's almost like you have too many options, and it like
which is like if you don't find exactly to the T what you want, and you'd be like, okay, well, you know, there's however more million people. I actually love going on dates.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
But it's just like also. Right now, priorities are just like work and like these guys.
Yeah.
And
that's another part of it is like
Well,
my free time, I don't spend it like swiping on Tinder or Bumble or anything.
No. If I go on a date, it's gonna be a weeknight.
Yes.
I will not spend my weekends dating because that's what I'm here for.
You have to like prioritize. I mean, the same goes for even Patrick and I was just saying this week, like we go on dates during the week as like a couple because the weekend is like friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like we all kind of feel that way. I feel like until these girls meet like the one, or at least one that they're like, okay, we can, you know, bring them around, then it'll be like a mesh situation. But otherwise, it's pretty separate. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I feel like we're not meeting all of these guys right away.
So yeah, we're all single.
All single.
My number is.
My address is.
My ring size is.
Next questions that we are getting a lot are just like tips and advice on making real friends, key qualities in finding genuine and sincere friendship, those kind of questions. So, anyone want to take it away?
I feel like, first of all, well, just like with any friendship, having somebody you can trust and honesty is so important. So important. I feel like, I mean, there's nothing I can say to you girls.
Yeah. And I mean, it takes a second to get to that point. You know, like it's not like you don't meet somebody and feel that immediately.
Feelings about people,
So like it's like it's not gonna happen right away where you like all of a sudden you just have a best friend that you can like hold, you know.
Right. I feel like that's a good point to make
It
too,
takes a
especially
second
because
to
like
do this. Have like something like this.
a lot of our, I feel like a lot of people think we just like we're instantly best friends when we met. Like no, obviously they developed a friendship through high school. Carrie and I did, Julie and I did, Julia and Kara and I, like it all was very separate. We didn't all meet and we're like, yes, this is like, we're gonna be best friends forever. It just kind of like over time became a thing. Like once you get to a certain age, I feel like now, I'm like, I know what I want in a friend and I'm not gonna settle for anything less, and I'm not gonna apologize for surrounding myself with the people that I surround with. Like you can't please everyone, and you can't, you know, make, I don't know. I don't know how to word it properly, but I just think.
I think it makes sense what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be best friends with every person that you meet.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I think it's just, you have so much like, at this point, and like from this perspective at like an older age, like you understand, like you were saying, exactly like what you are looking for in a friend. And like it's not always about like having the most friends. Like I feel like even like middle school and high school, like you just wanted to have so many friends, and like the more you had, the better kind of thing.
Quantity over quality.
Yeah, but whereas like the older you get, you like your priorities change, and like these are the people that you're going to be surrounding yourself with in like your biggest life moments.
And we all moved away from our homes where we grew up, so we are just as much family
we don't have
for each
family
other
around.
than we are friends. And I think that specifically for our group is a large part of it. And the reason why we are so dependent of each other is
And
because
so
like
close, like
and so close. Like, this is all we have here, and New York can be really hard, and there's jobs that suck and problems and like that. Like I just feel like there's another layer to it because of the city we live in.
Yeah.
And I think you should look at a friendship too, and maybe like step back and evaluate it. And if it's something that's easy, then you know you have a really good friend. Like obviously relationships take work, no matter whether it's like a romantic relationship or a friend relationship. But I feel like if you're really struggling to like be a good person around somebody, or you're struggling to like make a friendship work,
or
or
you
like
don't feel good around these people.
yeah, like you just feel, you don't feel 100% yourself, then I feel like maybe you know they might not be the best friend you have, you know, and you will find it. It takes a while. Funniest drunk story.
we have this story queued up, ready
to go, because it's one of our favorites.
So funny.
Who wants to tell it?
Carrie went through a phase where she would dance, like if we put on the song Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls, she would like start literally unbuttoning her shirt. Pat knows exactly what song we're about to tell. So we were at this random like house party. We didn't even know these people. And when I say house party, it was not like a big bump party. There was probably our group and then like max 10 other people. I don't know how we got control of the music, but we put on Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls, and like Carrie, you know, stops in her tracks. She's like, this is my song. She was wearing a button-down shirt, so she starts, you know, the music's going, whatever. Eyes are on Carrie, and she starts like unbuttoning her shirt.
But
not all, like,
no, babe, I'm not going broad like
I know.
out.
She just like a couple buttons, and she was like literally like, when I'm swaying like this is like what she was doing on the wall, just like grinding up on this wall. And she's like, the song is progressing and she gets lower and lower on the wall. And at some point she like, there was a Glade plug-in, like an air freshener plug-in into the wall. And Carrie like was going down the wall and like almost like sat on it to like, and it like popped out of the wall. And like as soon as that happened, the entire like electricity in the apartment like shorted out. The music shuts off, the lights all shut off. She shorted out this entire apartment by like sitting on a Glade plug-in. It was just such a funny night because Carrie used to have like one of those alarms, like an emergency alarm. Like if you pull it, it makes a huge, like very loud noise.
Yeah.
And so like if you're ever like you're ever in trouble, you pull that.
In New York,
people,
nice to
you know,
have it.
yeah, safety thing. So she had one of those in her purse, and at some point it got like pulled, and like the alarm was going off, but it wasn't loud enough for us to like really know where it was coming from,
or even know what it was.
It was like muddled because it was in your purse. So we're like walking, we had left this apartment. By the time we had walked out of the door, it was already going off.
Yeah.
We thought it was in the hallway of this apartment building.
Yes.
And then we're like, we leave, we're walking down the street, and we're like, still hear the sound, and none of us.
I'm looking in the trees. I'm like, is there like?
I'm not kidding, at least probably 5 minutes went by, and Carrie just stops dead in her tracks and starts losing her mind laughing. And she pulls it out of her bag, and we're like, are we dumb?
I think
Why
it was
did we
actually
do
Josh
that?
that goes, is it coming from your bag, Carrie? Josh was there.
Yeah.
He's like, is it coming from your bag, Carrie? And I was like, no. Like, what? No. And they're like, look, and I opened up the zipper and it just got way louder.
We randomly decided to start an Instagram page together, but it's not like a normal Instagram. It's like a Finsta. We post really embarrassing photos.
It's our
of
group
each other.
chat.
Yeah.
Everything about our group chat that's unfiltered
It's funny.
and funny.
And we kind of did it as a joke, and then a good chunk of you followed it. So I will have that Instagram linked below. It's called Lady Speed Sticks. We'll get into the whole reason why it's called that, but that was our group chat name for a while, or still is. So if you want to follow that, we've been getting a lot of love. and that's kind of what sparked this whole Q&A. A lot of people are asking for it. So if you already are following that, thank you so much for always commenting and liking on that, because it's really funny for us and we just love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will have not only that, but all of their individual Instagram accounts linked below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye. Bye.